potential every Thursday with our podcast, Refresh, Relax, Renew. Join Coach Racquel as she guides you through personal development journeys. Each episode focuses on actionable steps to enhance your personal journey. The podcast features 3 main segments to keep you engaged. We start with discussions on trending topics relevant to your growth. Then we unbox solutions to common challenges we face daily. Finally, stay updated with fresh funding opportunities each week. Tune in every Thursday for new episodes, and see you there. Refresh, Relax, Renew. Episode 26.
Don't call me motherfucking trying to talk to me, find out some shit, talk about some gossip. Don't call me with no bad news. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't calling me to uplift me, if you ain't calling me to I'm not 911, I'm not in the mood, don't call me unless there's some love on the other end of the phone. Matter of fact, I'm working. I don't want nobody to call me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody do them.
Oh my gosh, we just completed episode 26 and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me, for staying with me, for your likes, your comments, your shares, your everything. Thank you so much. It means so much to me, and I just want to say thank you so much. I wish you well. I wish you a great year. I wish you a great new month. Thank you so much for the time you spent with me. And now let's get into the episode. Mwah. Let's go. I love to open new packages. I will deliver the latest information on top funding opportunities for entrepreneurs who are seeking funding. Come along with me. I'm Coach Racquel, and it is a passion project for me. So I'm so happy to bring this to you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. I love the music. Do you like the music? Because I do. Oh, wow. It's another episode of my podcast, Refresh, Relax, Renew. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm Coach Racquel, and this is episode 26 of the podcast. To God be the glory. To God be the absolute glory, because God's the only reason I'm here doing this, okay? How have you been? Episode 26, today's journey, my darlings. Today's journey is going to be a full circle experience. We'll unbox life's little solutions, explore how to multiply money and opportunity, and then pause for a sobering reflection on life, loss, and faith. This is more than content. It's clarity, community, and courage, all in one episode. All right. So usually I like to just let you know what's happening with me. And I do it as an invitation. I share my experience as an invitation for you to share with me what's going on with you as well. Let's stay connected. Let's connect with each other. Let us share. It's like an oxymoron. I'm saying sharing, not from the perspective of talking my story or talking about my experiences, but I wouldn't even say brave, but I'm open on my podcast. And I'm open on my podcast because for a couple of things. Trust is a big thing for me. It's a big issue for me. So I feel almost like if I have something to say, instead of saying it to a person, just put it in public and be done with it. That's why on here, I'm very open. At least I think I am, as open as I am on the podcast, because I just feel like if it's not something I can hear back in a court, then it's probably not something I should say openly to anybody. It should just stay in my mind. You know what I mean? So I'm saying this to say, I enjoy sharing right here on my podcast because it's public and it's personal. And I feel like it is with my village. If it's with people who took time out to spend time with me, and I don't have to wonder if who I'm talking to cares, because you would not be here unless you had some degree of interest for some reason, So that kind of makes me feel like, okay, I'm talking to somebody who actually cares, who cares to listen anyway, not necessarily care to address an issue or whatever, but care to hear me, So I feel because it's public, and then, I feel like it's in an open space where it's welcome. So it's easier for me to share this way. It's more difficult for me to share with an individual or outside of this. You know what I mean? So how have I been doing? The last week has been reflective for me. And at one point in time, I felt my mind slipping a little bit. Yes, I felt my anxiety was trying to come up to the surface a little bit, and I had to check it. I had to be like, hello, I'm in charge here. I am in charge here. And anxiety, no, you stay where I tell you to stay. Okay, you're on bed rest. Yeah, because I don't necessarily think all anxiety is bad. But when the anxiety starts taking over our minds and start creating stories and become too much, start taking control of us, then it has to be parked. You know what I mean? It has to be addressed and parked. And how you do that? You can seek therapy, coaching, meditation, fitness. My fitness helps me. And stuff, different things you can do. And I'm not a medical person, so you can go find out what else you can do. Those are some of the things I've done. But I found my little anxiety coming back, because this is it, right? One of the things that I have to be cautious with is when I hear the news or somebody's news, I have to remind myself constantly, nobody's asking you to solve anything. Nobody is asking you to solve this problem. Absolutely no one is asking you to solve this problem, so you don't have to try to solve this problem. This problem is not for you to solve, Racquel. That's something that I don't want to call it a struggle, but I have challenges with, is knowing that this is not a problem that anybody's asking me to solve, because I'm this person who likes to solve problems, especially if it's somebody that I care about or something that I care about, or I'm listening to a news story that's close to my heart or has affected me, or I kind of have an understanding of how deeply it can affect people. I will take it on, and I will cause it to mean more than it needs to. And then I'll go into these modes of, oh my gosh, anxiety. I start getting anxious, like, oh my gosh, should I do something? Am I supposed to do something? No, you're not. Sometimes you just need to listen, you hear it, you get awareness, and that's all. So this week I had to kind of do that, because we were talking, and this is one of the stories I'm going to be talking about as well. But in the news, they were talking about the young lady in Jamaica who allegedly, or I'm not sure if it's conclusive, that she felt it was time for her to create an exit from the world on her own terms, and it kind of, because I've had suicide ideation for years after a major event happened to me, so it kind of hit me. And then when I started listening to people talking about the story and stuff, that was irritating me and causing me to become anxious. So I had to quell my mind. I had to be like, girl, calm down. And we don't need to listen to the news. We can select what news we listen to. We can select what we do. We have power. We have a choice. You do not have to descend in at all. You don't have to have any negative experiences. And that is something that, I want to share with us, because you're choosing what's upsetting you. You're choosing it. You literally can decide, you know what? Yeah, this is upsetting, but I'm choosing. I'm going to choose not to let this particular thing upset me today, you know? And one of the things I've had to over the years, over the past 3 to 4 years, my healing journey, I had to teach myself that the power of choice and the capacity and ability of choice, like okay, so the past 2 weeks, right? I had someone who's supposed to fix something, a technician to come by, and he was to fix something for me. And this person, I'm the kind of person who pays you ahead of time. I don't want to think about it. I just want this, just solve my problem. Okay, I pay you. You're not going to have an issue with me when it comes to pay. Like, I'm gonna pay up front, get the thing done. Let's move on. Yeah. And he came, but he never did. He never completed the job. He was supposed to do 2. He only did 1. And I kept reaching out, like, what's happening, when he keeps giving me these dates, not showing up. And then I'm like, girl, you don't have to stress about this. You know, you don't have to speak with him multiple times about. You don't have to go over this over and over. Request a refund, move on. Like, it's that simple. And I'm consciously choosing every single day what is going to get my anxiety, because nothing deserves it. What am I going to allow to influence me to just not have a good day? What am I going to allow to influence me to have a shitty experience? You know, like, I have a choice. And in the case where I have to deal with something, I can choose how I deal with it. Yes, I don't have to make the choice of allowing that to dictate how I'm going to feel and to take part in my conversations and things like that. Like, I don't ever want to be a dark seeker. I want to be someone who is always searching for the light in anything. And if I can't find a light, then it's not worth my conversation. It's not. And I do this because that's kind of who I am, but also because of my mental well-being. There on any given day, there are a multiplicity of issues to concern us. You know what I mean? But we have the choice in determining the choice to determine what we post to the notice board of our mind. What issues will we post to the notice board in our minds, our mental notice board? What are the things that we want to carry on to our conversations with the people around us? What are the experiences that are worth a discussion? And why is it worth a discussion, right? Let's say something happens to you and it's a bad experience. Like, for example, in the case of this technician that didn't come. Do I want to take that to my friends to say, oh my God, I paid this man and he didn't come, and I know I'm so... I don't have to do that. Why am I going to know, after listing it on my mental notice board, I'm not going to pin it to theirs? I'm not going to pin something to them, to the people who are close to me, something they will have no power to do anything over. Why would I do that to them? Are we conscious of the impact we have on the lives of the people who care about us? Do we bring unnecessary stress to them? And by unnecessary, I mean, are we dark seekers who will focus on the negative that are happening in our lives, and that's what we keep repeating to the people who we know can do nothing about it? Because it's something to think about. It's something worth thinking about. It's something I had to think about, Because at one point in time, I thought about, I'm going to call somebody and say, can you believe this so and so and so? And I'm like, no. And that happens to me multiple times. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We don't need to involve anybody in these shenanigans. Okay, Racquel, you can handle this. It's not that important. It's not that critical. Save their ears and their emotions for the things that really matter, that are important, something that they can actually do something about. You know what I mean? Because sometimes what I also had to realize is, what's really bothering you? Is it just the technician that bothers you, or is it something else? And when I dig deep, I realize that, you know what? No, one of my triggers is not feeling valued. That's one of my triggers. Now, when I work through that, I can go to one of my angels or one of my pals. I can go to someone. I can say, you know what? Today I had one of those challenges where, where I started feeling like I'm not of value. No, if I go to someone who cares about me and I said, today I had an experience with someone who made me feel like I didn't have value. That's an issue they can actually address, so they feel empowered. They can say to me, no, but you are of value to me. It's I don't know if I'm saying it effectively, but what I'm trying to say is one of the ways that we can demonstrate care towards those people we care about is, and I don't mean that you should not talk about your problems. That's not what I'm saying. Not only should you talk about your problem if you need to, make sure you're speaking to the right person about the right problem. What I'm talking about is cases where we get into the habit and the conditioning of lamentation, and we don't even realize we're there, where we're constantly repeating bad experiences. We're not really searching for a solution, because if we were, we would go to the source where we know we could get solution. No, that's not what we're doing. What we're really doing is passing on that trauma experience with persons who we know can do nothing about it, right? I know there's also cases where listening helps you, but why is it important that you lament to someone? Why is it important? There is importance, because for me, if I come to lament and I'm just saying problems, it's difficult for me, because I feel like, why am I carrying this forward? Like, what's the end goal here? Unless it is really just that I just want to vent, and I'm just going to vent and go. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a conversation. It's just going to be a venting and I'm gone kind of thing. But I've really been checking myself, like a number of times I feel like I want to call someone to talk about this. And I'm like, no, this is not worth calling someone to talk about. This is something I can remedy or dig deeper. Why is this so important that you want to talk about it with someone? What is the real thing? I literally do that with myself. Like, what is a real issue that this is posing for you? And then when I dig deeper to understand what the real issue is, I call to talk about the real issue, not the surface matter. Is what I'm saying. So those are some of the things that I'm learning to process. And over the past week, I've just been reflective about. And I just want to say that I don't have all the answers, and I'm still learning. I'm learning me and how to support myself. You know what I mean? Because the better I get at supporting myself, the better I'll be at supporting other people. And I really, really want to be a support system for people. I want to be a space of support that people can come to find real life solutions. I'm not someone who likes to talk about the problem and go about the problem and dig into the problem just to talk about the problem. For me, it is, let's identify the problem so we can find a solution. The solution is where I want to delve and explore and seek and search and prod and find. I love focusing on, so how do we solve this? If it's worth your energy, if it's worth your time, if it's worth us looking into it, then it has to be that we're seeking a solution. If we're not seeking a solution, why are we spending so much time here? You know what I mean? It's something that I'm trying to find the balance between that and still being available for the people I care about, for them to vent. So one of the things I've been working on myself is realizing is nobody came to you for a solution. And I've been saying that to myself, girl, nobody came to you for a solution. They came for you to listen. They came for you to listen. They just wanted to talk. They feel safe talking with you. And so they just wanted to talk about an experience that they had. It's not something for you to solve. But I'm working on myself in that area, because especially if it's a repeated concern, then I begin to feel useless if I care about somebody who's existing in a crisis in a continuous and consistent way. And so I go to, why am I here? If And you know what? I'm going to talk about this a little bit more when I get into allegedly, because we really have to get clear about maximizing the use of the people close to us to our benefits, don't misuse them. Like really, really use them to solve your problem. Don't just spend time. Don't allow your time with the people you care about to be limited to just the issues nobody can solve, to just venting, because they care that you live a quality life. And I think a better use of resources is to use it to improve our quality of life. And people are resources. So nothing is wrong with venting. It's a good thing. And we should know when we do that. But we have to check ourselves to see, am I venting more than I'm using these people for positive solutions in my life? Am I venting more than I am seeking solution? I think that's important. I think that's very, very important, because I don't know about you, but for me, I love, there's nothing that gives me more satisfaction than knowing that the people that I love are thriving. It's the best gift. If you love me, if you have any love in your heart for me, the best gift you could ever give me is you taking care of you, so I don't have to worry. It's you thriving. It's you living your best life. Yeah, you don't even have to talk to me. You don't even have to like me. But if you love me, oh my God, be happy. Live a life that every time I check you out, you're just laughing. You those are the things that have me crying. Like, thank you, God. Yeah. Those are the things that are important to me. So that's just a little bit of reflection on my last week and a little personal update. Please share with me in the comments. What have you been reflecting on? How are your days going? What's happening with you? I'm interested. That's why I share mine, because I'd like to hear about yours. So please let me know. How are your days? And how are you preparing for October? How am I preparing for October? Well, I'm excited for October, actually. I'm excited for October because I have a brand new computer. And I have a new computer and a new phone. So, and the phone is I have a food channel, an ASMR food channel. And I haven't really been vlogging much because my phone needs to be changed. And like I said, I don't like to do anything that's going to take me away from joy and peace. I kind of like park it, like, all right, we don't have to do this. I assess and say, okay, what role is this playing in my life? Can I park it for a moment? So I've kind of sort of parked it. I've still posted. I'm so proud of myself that I posted, I think, like 2-3 videos last week. I'm so proud of that. Yes. But I really, really need that phone so I can do it the way I want it to be done. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, let's go to our prayer for today. So this is my book of prayers by me, Racquel Reese. And the book is titled Prayers. All right, so that's the book. It's called Prayers. And today, this prayer, it opened up on my prayer for a husband. Oh, Lord. That's something that has been on my mind for a while. All right, let me read this one. I don't think I've ever shared this one. Well, let's do this one, okay? So this says, hallowed be thy name. Hallowed be thy name. As I opened this and I see, I'm a little bit emotional inside because of a special person. one of my angels. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Have you ever had someone in your life who just, and it could be just that I've lacked it for a long time, I don't know. But have you ever had someone in your life who's just so gentle with you, who just makes you feel like you matter? I don't know, is that it? Yeah, like you matter, like you have value, and like they're cheering you on. Like, it's something I've wanted for such a long time. And there's this angel that has blessed my life. And this person blessed my life back in 2017 when the worst experience of my life happened to me. That person created a bridge for me to come from brokenness back to life in order to do that self-work. Like, I had to come back to life first. Like, that person gave me this bridge to get up and get into motion, you know? And it's weird because anytime I find myself at not a low place, but at a place where I'm like, have like a specific desire or something, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I remember one day I sat down and I'm like, God, I needed to send someone to take me out. And the person showed up. Not only did the person show up, but when we were out eating, the person said to me, when you want to go somewhere, or, you know, like you want to go out and do something, or you want to go somewhere, something to that effect. He's like, when you want to go out, do you have someone who can take you? It's not even what was said. That's why I say angel, because it's not a romantic thing. It's a God heard me thing. You know what I mean? It's a you're one of those people God used to show me that he hears me. And every interaction I have with that person, it's a reminder that I matter, you know? And recently, another point where, because of what happened to me in 2016, I made certain vows of things I would never do again, just never do again. No matter what, I didn't care to do those things again. And one of the major things that I was so scared to ever do, like, because of what happened, I was just so scared to go there again. And a simple conversation. I think he asked me like 1 or 2 questions. And I don't know what happened, but I'm telling you, the next day, I started a whole mission down a road that the day before you could not get me to even venture to think about. Because I have other people who would say, no, you should do this again. And I've even cut people off because they do it. Because I'm like, how many times do you hear me say, I'm not doing that again? All that was done was just a couple of questions. And I'm telling you, the next day I was in full force. And 5 months later, I was like, stepping into the very thing. And I'm like, and it's funny because after that, when it was happening, I didn't even remember. And then I remembered, and then I was watching an interview with B. Simone yesterday when she was talking to Jason. I don't remember his name. And and she was there like, you are literally God's answer to our, like, you're telling me about something I talked to God about. And the voice in my head was like, thank him. Because I like to thank people when they can receive it, you know? And I also want people to know you are having a positive impact. That's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes we're so focused on the mistakes people are making that we don't even remember to tell them when they do something good. You know? And I had to let him know, like, thank you. And all I'm saying is thank you. Is nothing like, thank you. And I'm telling you, the response I got was just someone cheer. Like, I've never felt so cheered on, you know, like, yes, I'm so proud of your decision. Like, I'm going to move on because, you see, I'm a kid that never really grew up with parents, and not really grew up with parents who built my emotional, who were emotional with me, or who were it took me a long time to realize I was hugged much as a child. That's what I'm trying to say. I wasn't really cared for. I was in survival mode the whole time. And I didn't really experience intimacy with family and friends. And so, let me not say friends, because I've had a number of angels in my life. What I'm trying to say, I don't have the words. So another time I'll say, but this is kind of just what I've asked God for. Like, I would like to know people cheer me on the way I want to, the way I cheer people on. And that's what he did. And you're my angel. And I just want to say thank you. And I have no expectations of you. You know, my only desire is just that you thrive and you live happy, and everything you need and everything you desire comes to you in the right way, so that it will only bless you, you know. And thank you for your kindness towards me. Thank you so much for that. But let's go to the prayer. Hallowed be thy name. Grand rising God, hallowed be thy name. I want to make a commitment to you that 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. of my days belong to you. I don't think I remembered this. I dedicate my mornings to you, God. May your will be done in my life. God, I pray for marriage. I'd like to be a wife if it's your will for my life. I'd like to have sex that is blessed by you. Did I really write this? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. I love it. Be open with your desires and be direct. Anyway, God, I pray for marriage. I'd like to be a wife if it's your will for my life. I'd like to have sex that is blessed by you, God, on an undefiled bed. I pray for my life to have love fill it, God. I would like to experience family. Lord, I pray that love will be a part of your will for my life. I'd like to experience divine romance. I wrote this book in 2020. I love that's meant to be, wherein I feel your divinity. I pray for a man of God to love me and all my bits. God, please bless me with a place to call home where I'm at peace and can freely roam. Let your grace shower down and flood my life. God, I pray for food, fresh fruits and vegetables daily. Bless my table, I pray sincerely. God, I pray that my cupboards will never be empty. I pray my work rewards me plenty. I pray for healthy meals. I pray for enough to share. Jehovah, my provider, let me be a blessing to others. God, evoke praise within me so that I will worship you. I surrender all to you, God. Everything I give to thee. Amen. It's the first time I'm reading that prayer. I wrote it, but it's the first time I'm actually reading it. Not just on the show, but it's the first time I'm actually reading what I wrote in that prayer. Wow, that was something special. That was something special. Okay, so now we're going to be going to our ASMR moment. Let's go. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. Wow, that was beautiful. Wasn't that beautiful? Wow. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for staying with me so far. This is Refresh, Relax, Renew, and we're now going on to our first segment for today.
Hey, curious minds, ready to unbox your next big find? Every episode of Unbox Solutions with me dives deep into Amazon gems, smart hacks, and surprising solutions you might not know existed. From combat boots to kitchen gadgets, we unbox them all, up close, unfiltered, and just for you. Tag along as we refresh, relax, and renew your everyday routine, one product at a time. Catch new episodes every Tuesday on YouTube at My Coach Ministry. Hit subscribe, smash that bell, and never miss a reveal.
All right. Thank you so much for staying with me so far. It's now time for us to look to unbox our solutions for today. So, hi, Calm Collective. Welcome back to Unbox Solutions with me right here on Refresh, Relax, Renew podcast. It's episode 26, and today we've got not one, not two, but a whole lifestyle makeover hiding into these boxes. From the kitchen to the living room, your wardrobe, your self-care routine, and even your hair game. We're covering it all. So let's dive right in. There we go. That's me unboxing. Yes. So today we have and I'm just taking everything out of their package right now, but we have today kitchen gadgets. What is it called? So it's the all right. I'm just taking out everything and putting it on the table. So let me just go through what they are so far. Or should I wait until we're going? I'll just wait until we're going through them individually. So this one that I'm opening right now is the table. I think the table is the one I go through first. Okay, so this right here that I'm using with my microphone, that's the table right there that I'm opening. It's I don't know how to pronounce this. RCHY feed metal end table, and so this metal end table is the solution for small spaces. The matte black, oh god, it is really, really lovely. It has this thing that comes in it. You're gonna see it as I open it. It's really lovely, and it's stronger than I thought it was too. And it's also tall. You can bring it up higher if you want to. Yeah, it's really, really, really the height adjustable, right? And it's adjustable height, which is really, really cool. And it's sleek tray top. You can use it for different things. I'm using it to hold my microphone, but you can also use it like if you're like a nice side table. You can put like your computer on top of it, like when you're sitting on a sofa or whatever. Nice side table. It's very multifunction, right? And the next thing that you can see me open there is a top that you'd have seen me in this. I was wearing this top last week. A nice floral top. I really, really like the patterns is what I really, really like. Yeah, so there it is. I wore it last week, so you can check that out. And now this is a kitchen gadget with I really, really like this. So it's a Pysol Kitchen Unique Gadgets. Gadget set 6 smart little superheroes ready to rescue your counter space. Yeah, and the good thing about this, it has a little bag that comes with it, but it has a little thing you can just hang it up somewhere. So you see the different parts that it has. It has cheese grater, bottle opener, fruit and veggie peeler, pizza cutter, garlic and ginger grinder, and a herb stripper. Yeah. All of those come with it. Yeah. That's that. Yeah, and it has a little brush that came with it to like wash it. Now this is a pedicure sponge that you can use to scrub your feet, and it has this. I don't know if it's soap that's on it because I haven't used it yet, but it has this solution, this thing on it. Sorry, you'll see it when I open it. Where is it? Yeah, it's like a self-care reset. Oh, it says spongeable pedi scrub sponge. Yeah. And you can use that sponge over 20 times. So it's a sponge and soap in one. Yeah. And this now that you're looking at is Infinity Pro Con Air Dryer Brush. Yes, yes. All in one go. So hot air meets salon results. No juggling multiple tools, no arm workout required. The reason I bought that is because it detangles. It's a hair dryer. It dries your hair and detangles at the same time. So that's why I got it. It was really, really pretty cool. Yeah, so that was so quick. Right. So today we unboxed the kitchen, the living room, the closet, the spa, and the salon. Episode 26 proves that solutions don't come in one size. They come in sets, in styles, in scrubs, and in smoothing brushes. Which one, before we go to the tip, which one of those were your favorite? Drop it in the comments, please. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who loves smart solutions. Until next time, refresh, relax, renew, and always keep unboxing life's little answers with me. Now for our tip, or unboxing tip for today. As you can see it on the screen, don't just open boxes, open possibilities. Every tool, every gadget or product you bring into your life should do two things. It should save you space and save you stress. Let's say that again, save you space and save you stress. It shouldn't crowd you. And it shouldn't stress you, okay? If it's not simplifying your daily routine, it's just clutter. Choose solutions that serve you, not stuff that owns you. All right? Thank you so much for watching our unboxing segment, and let's now go to our next segment.
Want to turn ideas into income? Say less. It's Free Money Wednesdays. Every week, we drop the hottest funding alerts, grants, scholarships, startup catch, and hidden gems. Tune in with the Free Money crew as we break down how to apply, win, and level up. From the blog to the tube, we've got you covered. Visit mycoachministry.com/blog or subscribe on YouTube at mycoachministry for the latest drops.
Welcome back to Free Money Wednesdays, episode 26. And this is our segment 2 of the Refresh, Relax, Renew podcast. And today's show is sponsored by the Calm Collective member Next Level Shopper. If you visit my website, you can check them out at mycoachministry.com. Thank you for fueling the mission of helping everyday people find extraordinary opportunities, and how I like to say it, solutions. Yes. And family, we're going live today with something special. I'll be signing up on the spot at onemarketplace.store/join, and this link is in the description and also in the ticker scrolling on the screen. Testing it out with you in real time. No pre-recorded demos, no smoke and mirrors, just real solutions. So like I told you last episode, for the next 3 months, right, starting last week, we're going to be learning about this program, One Marketplace. All right, we're learning about it. So here is to that. But just before I sign up, our sponsor, Next Level Shopper, dropped a little food for thought on us. Did you know that the average startup cost for a fast food restaurant in 2025 runs anywhere from $200,000 to over $1 million? And let's be real, the manager's responsibilities are endless: complaints, budgets, payroll, scheduling shifts, recruiting staff, marketing campaigns, inspections, customer complaints again, inventory headaches, and that's before you even think about profitability. Now, here's the kicker. The average fast food manager's yearly salary in NYC, New York, that is about $59,000 to $60,000. Not bad, but when you look at the grind, the stress, the overhead, it's a lot. Now, contrast that with a $14.95 startup cost business. No managing people, no inventory, no office space. Instead, you get 30 credits every month worth $30 toward over 1 million hotels and resorts worldwide. It's portable, flexible, and designed for everyday people, not just the top 1%. Some folks say the business model is powerful enough that you could retire in 3 years. Okay, tell me more. So I've got to ask you, which would you rather build? A $1 million headache or a $14.95 opportunity? If this makes you curious, visit onemarketplace.store and take a look for yourself. All right, collective, all right. I promised you last time that I'm going to do a live test, so here we go. Let's head over to the site right now. There we go. And let's go to join now because I do not have an account. So I have already copied the code. Let me make sure it's copied. All right. So the first thing it asks, as you can see, I have one marketplace. The first thing it's asking you for is enter your invite code. So I'm going to paste mine right there. You can see it, right? Invite code is valid and a tick. All right. All right. All right. Why is this preempting my information? RACQUEL. All right. Did it ask for my full name or just last name here? REECE. All right. And then enter your email here. This one. Okay, now for my password, I don't want anyone to see that, so it is going to be all right. And then hit I agree to the terms. So it is protected by, and you can click on the link to see what the terms are. All right, let's hit sign up. Password, please enter a valid password. Okay. All right. You know, to be honest, I don't like websites that tell me what my password should be. Enter your password. All right. Let's see. All right. Sign up. All right. Okay, registration successful. Please check your email to activate your account. It might take a few minutes to arrive. Also check your spam folder. If you still don't receive it, you may have entered your email incorrectly. In that case, please contact support or register again. All right, so let's go to my email. Yes, right here. All right, so it says, and this is the one that reads, activate your One Marketplace account. And it says, hi, Racquel. Thank you for registering at One Marketplace. Please click the link below to activate your account. If you did not create an account, please ignore this email. Okay. This is what happened. When I click the email, this is where it takes me. Your account has been activated successfully. Please log in to continue, right? But before I log in, I want to show you the next email that I got. This is the second email I received. All right. So it says, welcome to One Marketplace. Can you see? Yes, it says, welcome to One Marketplace. Hi, Raquel. Thank you for joining One Marketplace. As a shopper, you always get the best price on our products and services. What's next? One Marketplace is launching in 4 stages during 2025 and early 2026. The website will improve as we grow, including cool features to the back office. New products will be added at every stage. An ever-expanding product global marketplace will be launched by late 2025, early 2026. If you ever want to earn commission, you can upgrade to a smart shopper. Upgrade to smart shopper for only $14.95 anytime. So you can actually sign up. So I'm going to click it now and show you what happens. Let me tell you what I like about this. I like that I can have a free account, right? Because I like to explore before I spend my money. So I like to be able to take some time, explore, see what this is about. I like that it allows for that. So it's not telling you right away you have to pay in order to be a part of it. Let me see if it saved my password. It did not. All right. Let's hope I remember my password. You have logged in successfully. Okay. Save that password. All right. So as you can see, do you see that red button where it says Smart Shopper is right? So it takes me right here. We have the dashboard. Let me see what happens when you hit dashboard. Okay. All right. So, okay. So I even got an invite code without having to pay $1. That's interesting. So you see where it has here the overview, invitees, earnings, marketing. This is pretty cool, actually. Invite people to start earning. Okay. All right. So it says start earning by sharing your invite code. When someone signs up using your invite code, you will earn each time they shop. If they become a smart shopper, a new community pod is created, allowing you to earn on up to 2,047 positions over month. 2,047 positions every month. I think that should be. Okay, share easily by using the share button. So you can just hit share and okay, cool. Upgrades access. You have Smart Shopper, and then you have, this is called Voyager. So upgrade to Smart Shopper to access. So you have to do this one first. All right. So you can share it. You can do different stuff. All right. And then you have your invitees. So you see the pods, the customers. Okay. All right. And then you'd see your earnings over here. This seems pretty cool to me. Now, again, remember, we're just learning this. We're just learning. So let's take the time to learn it before we make any big decisions. Let's take our time. All right. So more earnings coming soon. Membership earnings have just been released. Okay. Mass pay withdrawals and more earnings. Earnings will be added in the next step. You have loyalty bonus, shopping commissions, performance pool bonuses. Okay. So this is what it looks like. And then you have marketing, invite people to start earning. All right. Visit store. Let's see. Let's visit the store and see. They have Zoom calls. All right. So you can join a call and okay. All right. Let's see what the store looks like. All right. One marketplace. Okay. 1M shop. Okay. So you have categories. You have hats, shirts, jackets. It's regular stores. Okay. In my mind right away, I'm thinking, are they also going to have custom brands like you can, my mind getting away with me. This is pretty cool. I cannot lie. Okay. So you have card magnets. It's a regular store where you can buy regular things. But these things are branded One Marketplace. Okay. Oh, so it's their brands. Okay, I got it. Okay, so this is a iPhone case. All right. This is a tote bag. All right. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Can we go back? All right. Yeah, what is this? Pet collar. Okay. This is like pins. One marketplace pins. This is like a tumbler. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, so the store is a store with their products. Okay. Interesting. Oh. Travel bag. All right. Oh, I was trying to. Oh, it's not. Okay. All right. It's interesting to say the least. It's a very bright idea, a very good business idea. I do think though that, but I mean, I like what is here. I like what I see. I think for me, the only challenge I'm having right now is the navigation of the store. And it will be interesting to learn about what products they'll be selling. Is it just their products, or do they have plans to sell other products? Now that would also interest me. Oh wow, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. All right. Interesting. The one marketplace was quite interesting. Just to wrap that up, I find it very interesting. I think it's a very good business idea to have the kind of club, market club, where you become a member, you shop, you earn commissions when you shop, and you can invite other persons to come and shop and earn commissions alike. That's a general idea I'm getting anyway. I'll have to wait to learn more as we go forward to see how that all works, and to learn more about it, to see if it's going to include products from other people as well, and if you can do like custom products or whatever. So as we go through and learn about it, we will figure it out as we go along. So okay, and because this is Free Money Wednesdays, I've got your 10 grant listing for October 2025 coming right up. So let me go to that now. This report highlights 10 grant opportunities available in October 2025, covering small businesses, nonprofits, arts, education, and community programs. Each entry includes key dates, eligibility, and source links for application details. And this information you can find it right now as you're watching this program on the website, mycoachministry.com. Just go to our funding blog, or just go to mycoachministry.com/blog. Okay, so the first one is the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready Grants USA. For US, for small businesses using Verizon's Digital Ready platform, opens October 1, 2025. So it opens tomorrow. Sorry, I forgot. I'm recording this ahead of time. So it opened on October 1, closes December 10, 2025, and the source link is available on my website. Number 2, LA County Small Business Resiliency Fund, California, for LA County small businesses needing capital relief. Deadline October 31, 2025. Mississippi Homeland Security Nonprofit Grant Program for nonprofits improving security. Deadline October 17. Center for Craft Research Fund for new interdisciplinary craft research, deadline October 17 as well. Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation Quality of Life grants for nonprofits serving people with paralysis, cycle 2 deadline October 7. Hartford Foundation for Public Giving, current opportunities. And that is Connecticut, USA, for nonprofits in Greater Hartford, deadline October 1. So that would have passed by the time you hear this. And then the NAEF Art Education Foundation grants for art educators advancing visual arts education, deadline October 1 as well. For Supporting Act Impact Grant for arts nonprofits. For arts nonprofits include non-financial grantee support, deadline October 13. Great Lakes Energy People Fund for nonprofits in GLE's service area, due October 1. And Jacksonville Children's Foundation grants for youth serving initiative in Morgan County, deadline October 10. And for other countries outside of the USA, globally, in the Caribbean, UK, those are also listed in the blog. So you can go now, you can check it out, and you can see what is listed. These are just what I'm sharing with you for today. Oh my goodness, wow. So now we're going to go to our funding tip for today. Choose your job like a CEO, like you're a boss. Do not choose your job as though you're an employee. All right? Stop looking for a job like an employee. Start looking like a CEO. What does that mean? Research the company as if you're about to invest in it. Walk into interviews with solutions, not just skills. Position yourself as someone who adds measurable value, not just someone filling a role. Remember, CEOs don't just apply, they negotiate partnerships with their future. Right? So the graphic you're seeing on the screen right now, where it says choose your job like a CEO, and this was our the Calm Collective weekly boost that I'm sharing with you as a tip, right? Choose your job like a CEO. Justify why this job. Does it bring capital, skills, network, or time? Optimize. How will you use it? What can you extract beyond a paycheck? Build. What will it help you create that outlives the job? Which job choice today will best serve my entrepreneurial goals tomorrow? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Which job choice today will best serve my entrepreneurial goals tomorrow? These are things you should ask yourself as you go out and you seek a job, or what I like to call a client. That's your client. It's a partnership, a collaboration, right? You're trading your resources for something they offer, whether it's finances or whatever, but you want to make sure that you're maximizing on the opportunity. Don't just choose it because you want a paycheck and that's it. No, you choose a job like you're the boss. It should be a part of your overall entrepreneur plan, your overall life plan. And you find out, okay, where in my vision board does this job fall? Where in my life plan does this job fall, right? So that's important. Anyway, 2020 episode 26, sorry. Anyway, episode 26 gave us perspective, $1 million restaurant grind versus a $14.95 portable business. A live sign-up test at One Marketplace, 10 grants for October, and a mindset reset on how to job hunt like a CEO. If this blessed you, like, comment, and share it with someone who needs these gems. And don't forget, the best money you'll ever find is the money you learn how to multiply. Until next week, this has been Free Money Wednesdays. Stay calm, stay focused, and keep leveling up. Thank you so much for staying with me so far. Now let's go to our third and final segment.
From Hollywood to your hood, public breakdowns are everywhere. But what if we turn gossip into growth? On Allegedly, we react to the wildest viral stories, celeb spiraling, influencers breaking down, and infamous moments you can't unsee. But we don't just watch, we work. We break it down, do the self-work, and find the breakthrough hiding in their mistakes. New episodes drop every Monday on YouTube at My Coach Ministry, because your healing might just begin with someone else's headline. Allegedly, where the breakdown is the beginning of your breakthrough.
Thank you so much for staying with me on Refresh, Relax, Renew podcast. We're now in segment 3 of the episode. Welcome to Allegedly. Episode 26 promised to be interesting. And it is my hope that as we go through this episode that we will learn a thing or two. What I want to say before I even go to the disclaimer is this, right? We need to become more thoughtful, more intentional, and more honest about our relationships and what we bring to those relationships. We need to do some self-checks to ask ourselves, am I going to the right person with my lamentations? Am I going to the right person to vent? Am I going to the right person to complain? Is this friendship for the purpose of my venting? What is this relationship for? Does this person have the capacity to handle my venting? Does this person have the capacity to handle my lamentations? Am I creating and harboring these quote unquote relationships I call friendships because I lack the willingness to invest in therapy and coaching and actual help to solve my problems, or at least to explore my problems? Because for some persons, we just want to talk about the problem. We're not really trying to solve it, right? And we need to ask ourselves before we open our mouth. This is something I go through. There are times when I feel like, oh my gosh, I need to talk to someone about this. And I sit to myself and I say, when you talk to this person about this, Racquel, when you leave that conversation, what does their day look like? What's their day going to look like after that? And is this something that they can solve? Is this a problem they can solve when you go to them? Because if they cannot solve the problem, then go deal with the problem. And then when you get the lesson from it, then have the conversation with them. You know what I mean? So are you bringing value to these relationships you claim to have? Or are they just an excuse for you not to invest in the correct support that you need? Therapy, coaching, you know what I mean? I'm just saying we have to ask ourselves, because I don't know about you, but I know for me, a lot of the times sometimes when I get anxious, it's not because anything is happening in my life. Sometimes it's because something is happening in somebody else's life and they have brought me into it, and now I become anxious about it. No, they did not tell me to become anxious, so it's not their fault, right? But I want to say to someone who, if you care about me, you know me, so consider me. Am I the person you vent to, or am I the person you come seek solution from? Like, based on who I am and what resources I offer, is what you're about to tell me going to help either of us? Because I'll tell you who I'm not the person you come and sit down and just lament with. I'm not that person. You can tell me about an incident like one time, but if this is something that's a recurring theme in your life where every now and again this thing is happening, I am not the person. Nobody but a therapist is. We need to know when to get therapy. A lot of us don't seek therapy, don't seek coaching, because we keep going to friends and associates who are not sitting down and evaluating and exploring the problem we're having the way it needs to be fleshed out. And then when we're done talking, we solve the emotional trigger, but the real problem still sits. So yeah, talk about it and I feel good now because I got it off my chest. Now what? You got it off your chest, but you never got it out of your nervous system. You never had it dealt with. You know what I mean? We have to, if we really say we love and care for people, then we should never misuse them. And we really should consider what, because I think if in a lot of cases, if we stop misusing people, we'll sometimes find out we don't even need them. It's like we're hoarding people sometimes to misuse them for things that we know they can't help us. I'm just putting that out there, something to consider, right? So this is allegedly, and no, before I go there, I want to, this is also something I always say. Now, when we have these conversations where I'm talking about other people's story, I'm so careful. I'm really cautious when I talk about other people's lives because I really don't know anything. I don't know a thing. I'm just trying to figure things out. I'm not an expert in any other area of life except me. And even that is a work in progress, okay? So I don't have the answers. I have more questions than I have answers. I want to say thank you to all the persons who will be mentioned in my podcast today. I want to say thank you to Tyra. I want to say thank you to everyone I encounter, and anybody who's listening to this and think this is about you. It is not. It is just something that sits on my heart, and I want to talk about it. It's not about any specific person, so please do not receive it that way. It's if you find benefit in the conversation or in the information I'm sharing, well, great. I'm happy for that, because this is our resource for support, is what I hope anyway. So I just want to say thank you to all the persons who will be mentioned, and we honor you, we salute you, and we value you and your story. So we thank you for your experiences and your breakdowns that will inspire us to do our self-work so we can achieve breakthroughs in this life. And that's the approach that we take here. So this is not a joke. This is not funny. This is real life. And the goal is self-empowerment, self-growth, self-development, even to trigger our own breakdown, with the hope that that breakdown will lead to us doing our self-work so we can become our better selves and fulfill our fullest potential, right? And live our best lives. That's the goal. That is the goal. So copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. So the video clips and everything that I'm using here are all under fair use for research and news reporting and commenting and teaching as well. So please understand that. So the first story that we're going to be looking at is I'm reacting to the tragic news surrounding Tyra Spaulding, former Miss Universe Jamaica finalist, assistant accountant. I'm ready for it to start playing, but yes. So this is the person. Former Miss Universe contestant Tyra Spaulding suspected suicide. And let me just say this, this is a sensitive topic. I'm going to be using the words because this is a serious conversation. I'm not going to be saying unaliving or anything. I'm going to be using the word with respect and understanding that this is a real issue and we want to talk about it head on. We want to talk about it for what it is. All right? Okay, and this is why I'm saying we need to be careful or cautious not to misuse the people we claim to love. Your friends and your family, they're not your therapists. Your friends and your family, they're not your mediators unless you approach them directly for that support. I need therapy. Can you offer me can you offer me an hour? Be clear, like I'm just saying, be intentional with how we use the people in our lives because you don't know what happens when you leave feeling great and you feel, yes, I've vented, I've emptied myself, I feel so much better. What weight do they carry when you leave? Do you care? Do you care what weight they carry when you leave? I'm not saying this is the reason for what happened to her, but as I read her story and I saw that she was a mental health advocate, you see, sometimes the people who are trying to find a solution or the people trying to help, because I did counseling as an associate, as the associate part of my degree, right? And when I did counseling, I really thought counseling was what I was passionate about. I had to stop. I did 6 months in a school and I had to stop because I had one kid who was obsessed. One kid was obsessed with truck drivers. And then I had another student who became obsessed with me. And I remember one of the big lessons I had to learn was I was getting so close to her. One of them, I wasn't available for them to talk to me, and it was reported that that student brought a knife to school threatening to commit suicide because she couldn't reach me. This actually happened. Yes. And I remember a second one, because this is it, right? This was me training to become a counselor, right? So I wasn't fully there yet, but clearly I wasn't equipped, because it's like, how do I explain it? You're not there to be a friend. You're there to help them. You're not there to become a solace, a place where they come and hide. You're not there to walk for them. You're there to help them get up and walk for themselves. Why am I sharing that? I'm sharing that to say I had to leave that because I was taking it home. And that's not the job. That tells me that I'm not equipped for the job. And then I later realized that coaching is my thing. My thing is helping you find solution. So me there doing something that I was in direct contrast to my wellness, and I didn't even realize at the time. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, be careful how you're using the people in your life. It cannot just be you're talking to them just because you want somewhere to vent. No, if you need somewhere to vent, you must consider, where is the best place for me to do it? Who's the best person for me to do it with? It can't just be, let me drop this on my mother because she's my mother. No. Does my mother have the capacity to handle what I'm about to tell her? Because you may need to go to a therapist to tell them that. Not your mother, not your wife, not your husband. I just want us to bear that in mind as we go through this. Now let me go to the actual story. So let's be clear. This is not gossip. It's not a spectacle. It's a moment for pause, perspective, and painful honesty. Because sometimes the stories we tell in death can save lives in the living, which is why I'm going to be using real words. So before you listen, understand that I'm going to use the word suicide. All right? Good. So Tyra's impact, before we even talk about, the fact she's no longer here, let's talk about her impact, right? First, let's honor her legacy. Tyra wasn't just beauty. She was brilliance, the reports show. She represented Jamaica on the Miss Universe stage, not only carrying our colors, but expanding what beauty and wellness means in 2023. She worked as an assistant accountant, proof that excellence can wear many crowns at once. She had the courage to speak out, publicly documenting her own battle with suicidal thoughts in YouTube videos, naming what so many feel but silence. Naming what so many feel but silence. And in that honesty, she gave language to a struggle that others could barely whisper. Her openness forced our media, our institutions, even our communities to do something rare: center suicide prevention. Headlines carried helpline numbers. National conversations shifted toward mental health. Globally, her story traveled, raising awareness far beyond Kingston. Her employer showed compassion, helping provide therapy support, a model for workplaces everywhere. And just saying that just now, I felt very emotional because I had a memory. Her employer showed compassion, helping provide therapy support, a model for workplaces everywhere. I remember I worked at a particular place once, and when my dad passed, I sent emails and everything to notify persons, and I'll never forget, I was sitting at the hospital, sitting right outside of the hospital where the doctors told me to wait because he was in a coma, and I was waiting, and I remember I got a call asking me about not being at work, and I'm like, but I sent an email and I copied all the relevant persons. And I remember as I was going into my email to check to make sure you really did call, because I said it that I called, but I'm like, let me check to make sure I really did send an email. And I remember as I was going through the emails, I got a memo. Was it 7 memos I got, or I got a memo? And I was so crushed. The one person in life who I was connected to was in a coma. And that was when my workplace felt they need to send me a memo about not coming in, when I had emailed all the relevant people about it, including the head of the organization. Everyone was emailed about it, including the person who sent me that memo. And I remember I sent a memo back because I'm saying, how could you do that? How can you, even if I hadn't sent anything, when I tell you where I'm at, how do you do that to somebody? I think it was 7 memos I got. And I remember in my response where I said, things like this can cause people to hurt themselves. How could you do that? And I remember I had submitted a report, and I'm so thankful because I got a response. And actions were taken. You know, there's some workspaces that have some people in it that have not yet dealt with their own trauma, so they have no capacity to care for the people they lead. They just don't have the capacity. And I'm not saying they're good or bad people, I'm just saying they don't have the capacity. So when I saw that just now, that was what flashback, and I felt this emotional thing that I almost cried, but I'm like, no, I'll just talk about it. It just flashed back. And my father passed that day, you know, with me sitting out there. And I remember when they told me, I was just blank. Just blank, you know? You know where I'm at. Because when you called me, I told you. And then you went on to say, you don't see the message, blah, blah, blah. But I did. I didn't just send it to one person. I copied multiple people on it. We have to care. Like, we keep talking about we care. Do we care? Do we care? Do we have capacity to care? Because if we're not seeking healing for ourselves, because a lot of us, we're not seeking healing, we just run to somebody to vent. We're just venting all over the place and thinking that after we've vented, oh, the problem is treated. No, it's not. No, it's not, which is why you keep lamenting about it every conversation. You lament about it. You're not lamenting about the healing from it. You're lamenting about it. And it shows up you're telling the story in different colors. Yes? We have to become a health and help-seeking culture. Not just for fitness, because that seems to be the only health that people understand is when you start working out. Come on. All right. So anyway, so her employer showed compassion, helping provide therapy support, a model for workplaces everywhere. Her peers and the pageant community honored her as light, grace, and kindness. Even in loss, her life rippled into conversations, care, and change. Let's play this video.
My mind is trying to kill me. And if I do nothing, I am going to die, guys. Every day I get up, my mind tells me to go and jump off a building. It tells me to go and overdose on pills. It tells me to go and hurt myself.
Tragedies.
I can't stand that music. Sometimes we should just let things be what they are. But anyway, I've struggled with suicidal ideation after a major thing happened to me in 2017. For 6 years, I could not leave the house. I would try, and when I say leave the house, I mean go outside. I would go to the doorway and I would just collapse, knees to chest, and just bawl until I couldn't breathe because I was too scared to go out. I could not go outside, and I couldn't stop crying. I remember once I cried for 2 weeks. I never left the bed. I never ate. I never nothing. I was just crying. I cried until I started having muscle contract, I think is what it's called, in my stomach. I remember I visited New York and there was a pastor. I'll never forget. And you know, when you're in the congregation and that pastor comes to you, I was so upset. I remember the pastor came to me. He I think he was seated. Yes, he picked me out. I went ahead, and then I remember he sat and he invited two ladies to come. And I remember he had them put their hand on my tummy and prayed for me. Nobody knew this was happening to me. I never spoke about it. I didn't start talking about it until in my healing process. Yes. And I remember he said to me, there were three things he told me: my tummy problem, and I was having it because I had cried so much that I started having a lot of muscle contract. But then I realized too later on that I wasn't eating. I didn't remember, you know. And then I remember he said to me, no more weeping. Your weeping is over. No more weeping. I mean, I didn't even know how he knew, because when I tell you, I just kept crying because, yeah, that was a whole other thing. But I had become so depressed because I just didn't understand why everything had to be ripped from me and the way it happened. And that was one part of what hurt me. But what devastated me was that I realized how alone I was, and all of those people who I thought these were friends and I was making sacrifices for, and I was choosing everybody else to do this and do that. And I realized that here I was, and nobody believed me. Nobody believed in me. Nobody showed up and said, anyway, I'm just saying, because of this, for me, my suicidal ideation came from me feeling like I wasted my life and I did not do well by myself because I chose the wrong people, and all of these things happened, and here I caused all of this that happened to me. And so I and it's something I still struggle with, the thought of I messed up my life, and I feel like I want to do over. I've completely messed up my life, and those were the thoughts I was having. And then I felt like I failed the people who I cared about. I kept feeling like I'm no good, like I'm just failing you. I'm failing. And then the world just kept feeling like I was in hell, like poverty, homelessness. It's like it's like the world just seemed a dark place. And when I look back at it, it's not that I'd gone through something, but I was okay. I was actually moving through it well. I got one of my angels that I talked to you about earlier. That angel showed up, gave me that bridge, gave me an opportunity to do something and that's what saved my life, actually. And no matter how when I say thank you and stuff, I don't know that the person actually really understands how deep my gratitude run. And he saved my life. Saved me from myself is what I'm talking about. From myself. Yeah. So the people who are in our lives, when you listen to her, when she said, her mind is attacking her. I know what that feels like. If I don't sit on top of my mind, I have to be on top of this, wherever it is. I have to be on top of my mind, which is why I say, even to persons, this is who I am. Don't come to me with things that's not about who I am, because I still struggle with, even if I feel like I have someone who I really care about who is suffering, I start thinking, so how can I be over here having a good time and they're suffering? What's going on? And then my adrenaline start rushing, and then I realize, but you can't change their lives for them. They're not asking you for help. You're supposed to just listen. But I don't have the capacity to listen to the same thing over and over and over, even if it takes different, even if it's the same story but different characters. That same struggle thing. It's difficult for me. Difficult because my thing is, can we get the solution then? Because I guess in a way I feel like it's like I feel like, oh my God, they're in problems. Oh my God, let's help them before they lose everything like I did, or like I don't want them to feel as desolate as I felt. I don't want them to feel as alone. But I realize that that's my thing, not theirs. I can't project this on them. They're good with just talking about the problem. At least that's how it appears. I don't know. But I'm just saying we have to be more thoughtful of what am I taking to this person, no matter how strong they seem. And we're so fixated on, oh, she's pretty, and oh, she looked good, and oh, she was a Miss Universe, that we probably miss the sorrows in their eyes because we're so focused on what looks pretty. When I want to distract people, that's what I do. I give you what you need to focus on. And that's why when I said to you, this angel that I met, oh my gosh, man. For the first time, I met someone that made me feel seen. Like the girl, the person in me. A lot of us are in crowds of people telling us they love us. And all we get from them is emptiness, space holders, because they don't even consider us. They don't even really know us, and they just come and dump things on us without thinking, who am I dumping this on? We have to think about it, people. What she's talking about is absolutely, and more of us are going through this than we know. I have to sit on top of my mind because, listen, I am a child that grew up without stability and security. There's certain things that I can't even think about. I have this thing right now that happened to me, right? Because I've gone through a lot of hunger where if my groceries are running out, let's say my groceries are running out, right? And I have like the last set of thing to prepare for meal, I can't eat it. I have to go hungry while there's at least one meal there. It's something that I have to tell my mind that there's a meal there. I can't eat that last meal and then be hungry and I have nothing to eat. I don't know if you're understanding me. It's a real thing. Yeah. Also, there are things with me that I still have where I cannot focus on anything that's going to make me feel devalued. Like when I was talking about, I don't know if I said it, if in the part earlier where, like, let's say I hire someone to do something and that person is not doing their job. I can go to a place where I feel like, why isn't my money enough? And if I'm not careful, I start going down the road of, why? I start adding that to some other old story of, I'm not feeling valued, blah, blah, blah. And what I'm trying to say is if I allow that to play for too long, for a minute longer than it should, I will start sinking into a dark place and start curling up and feeling like, okay, this world is not a safe place. Like what I'm trying to say is you've got to, if you really care about the people in your life, you need to learn their capacity. You need to learn their capacity because nobody else is as strong as you think. This world is what it is. And if we're gonna, sometimes I don't understand when people like, oh, I want to live till I'm so old, and how could you do that? And why would you want to take your own life? Insensitive much? You may not understand why someone might want to take their own life, but they do. Nobody can sell to me that this world is so beautiful and wonderful. And if you are that connected with the world, then do you know God? If the world is so sweet for you, do you actually know God? Is where my mind goes. Do you know who God is? Because I don't know how sweet this world could be if one person hungry. Do you know what hunger feels like? There's some news stories I cannot watch because I know only too well what that pain feels like. Homelessness. I can't watch those things. So when people behaving like there are no issues in this world, or they're just at such peace with all the issues of this world so they could live forever here. I don't know about you. People who commit suicide to me are brave people. I don't encourage it, but you have to be brave to take your own self. You have to be. Because it's not just pain why someone does something like that. And I'm going to share with you some reasons people do that you might not have even given thought to, right? But here's the harder part. We often ask the wrong questions. Why would somebody do this? They had so much to live for. Says who? When I was in it, when I was suicidal, I didn't know who I was. I would say to people, This is not me. I don't know who this is because I'm not here. And nobody understood me. And I would be trying to explain to someone that this is not who I am. Like, the person who I am is not here. This is not me. Who you're seeing and hearing is not me. I don't know who this person is, but the person who I know myself to be is not here. She's not here. And nobody could understand me. People would just think, oh, what year are you in? No. And I'll never forget one day I was sitting on the sofa and I had I don't know if you call that a vision, or like, for me, it's like a video played in my mind, like this very quick, like, and it's like I saw myself at the corner of the house, and it's like I was peeking around and I smiled and I said, I'm coming back. And I remember I called my friend. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just had this video running through my mind and I felt it. It's like I felt it. And I remember saying to her, oh my gosh, I told you I wasn't here. And I know for the people listening, I could see even looks on their faces like, what's this girl talking about? I was not there. When 2017 happened to me, I lost who I was. I didn't just lose things, the things I worked my ass off for. I lost who I was, because when someone tells lies on you, it's like you start thinking. At one point in time, I started believing the lies, because I'm saying to myself, but why would somebody just lie? That's why when I saw what people did to Sean Combs, I'm like, don't we get it? Like, even if he is the worst human being on the planet, he is still a being. He still has blood running through his veins. And for the media, the security forces, everybody came down on this man. He is still a person. He's still a person. He still feels. He still breathes. So I don't understand when people start saying, oh my God, this word, this and this word, that, because thank God, let me tell you, I am myself now, and suicide doesn't even cross my mind. It's not who I am, but I wasn't myself. I was not myself. I didn't know who that girl was walking around in my body. I cursed God. I felt so in such a dark place. I remember, and those close, well, the only person, I think I only shared it with two persons, one or two. I don't know if it's two, but one person I know I shared it with, when I said, in the mornings, when I'm going to bed, I'd be like, okay, God, this is our agreement. All right. I love you. I thank you. Great life. All of this. I'm thankful, but I'm ready. And for nights, like weeks, months, I was doing this. I'm like, God, I'm ready. I promise you, I'm just ready. I'm ready. Don't let me wake up tomorrow morning. Please. I'm not mad. Just let us agree that in the morning, I will not wake up. And I go to my bed, and in the morning, I'm barely like opening my eyes, like, and be like, I'm still here. I thought there was a God. Let me tell you something. I cursed God. Not cursed at God. Cursed God. I cursed God. I hated the idea of a God. I spoke in languages to God that only God understands. And that's why when I say to you now, know God for yourself, know God for yourself. Because while I was busy thinking I was cursing God, I was merely talking to my Father. God was really extracting the darkness from me. Learn God for yourself so you can go to God your way on your terms, and don't let people limit how you talk to God. What do you mean you call Lord's name in vain? There's no such thing as calling God's name in vain, because calling God's name is to call on God. So how can you do it in vain? I'm just saying, we need to speak the truth of what the world is, and then say, yes, the world is messed up, but I love it here. I do not love it here. I want to go wherever my God is. That's where I want to go, and I'm always ready. I'm not going to hurt myself, but I'm always ready. I am ready right now to go wherever. I hear people, there's a song that they sing, "Come Jesus, come." We need to stop lying. Do you really want Jesus to come? Do you want Jesus to come? If all you say about Christ is true, do you really want him to come? Or is it just the music that takes over and you get you so emotionally charged? You just love to sing the song. Because you see, a lot of the things we sing, even me, it's the music why I sing it. I don't really like the song, but the music gets me going. The truth is, sometimes the very things we assume should anchor us are the same things that tip us overboard. That's what I'm trying to say. Are the same things that tip us overboard, right? So research shows these things. Perfectionism and imposter syndrome. That's also something that I used to be bothered by. Like, you feel like, how could I achieve this? I'm nobody. And this is something I used to say to myself, well, if I buy a BMW tomorrow, it means that BMW lost its value for it to come to me. It's not that I increased in value to meet it. Because I am a nobody. I'm the regular piglet. I'm the little girl who used to run around in the hills that everyone thought was the ugliest. Just the only thing they thought good about me was that I was smart. Nobody wanted to be bothered with me. That was my interpretation of it. That's not necessarily the reality of it, but that was how I consumed it. So the perfectionism and imposter syndrome. The applause looks like affirmation, but inside it feels like fraudulence. Being the strong one, if there's ever such a thing. I don't know that there's any such thing as the strong one. There's no strong one. It's just, I believe, those who are better at hiding and at coping, if they're actually coping. Yeah. Caregivers, pastors, mothers, praised as pillars, silently crack under loads no one else can carry. The invisible illness, chronic pain, fatigue, or depression masked by a smile. You ever heard somebody praying to God and thanking God, but wrapped in the thankfulness is life is hard, and wrapped in the thing here, and a healing, and the struggle and the stress. That's not praise. That's cause for concern. That's cause for concern. Some of us don't even know the difference between a prayer and a lamentation, because a lot of us, you know what I love about my book? Let me tell you what I love about this book of prayers that I wrote. There's no lamentation in it. There's direct ask. I ask God for luxurious living because I want to live in comfort. But do we actually pray that way? Are our prayers lined with lamentations and complaint? But we're busy thinking we're praying, which is why therapy and coaching is important. I am here today because of therapy and coaching, especially coaching. That helped me learn how to use the trauma and not be used by the trauma. Yes. Anyway, sleepless hustle. Insomnia dressed up as ambition, quietly eroding resilience. Milestones that should bring joy, new mothers at the height of celebration quietly face suicidal risks. Retirement, role exits, the freedom shock. When the role that defined you fades, purpose goes missing. Hero jobs, nurses, doctors, soldiers, pastors, celebrated for service, crushed by moral injury. I work with pastors, and sometimes, like when I tell you, I sit with God, I'm like, God, please help me bring solutions to these people. Like I'm passionate about supporting them. And sometimes there's so much more I feel like I could do, especially in coaching, but you can't choose your client as a coach. They have to choose you, and so for me, I make sure in the areas that they choose for me to deliver, I go extra hard. Yeah. I never, like, if you pay me $10, I deliver $20 worth. Like I because I understand the role that they sit in. They're advocating for people, you know? And I stay ready for the day they call me to say, hey, I need your support. Yeah. And I don't say these things to them or whatever because I don't need to. I just do my job. I do my job in a way that they never have to worry or question. They never have to micromanage. I do that with intent because I want to lift burden. I don't want to add burden to them. So even when we go to work and stuff and we understand we're working with business owners are just mere entrepreneurs. Do your job. Don't wait for them to have to beg you to do your job. That's added stress. You know what I mean? Like, really value people, especially those who bring value to our lives. Good vibes, only pleasure. Social media's highlight reel forces everyone into comparison contests they can't win. You know, one of the things I don't do? I do not invest time in anything that could cause me to have envy. I've become very intentional about it. I am intentional about what news I watch because if it's going to make me too sad, I'm not watching it. No news is that important to me. None. Because I have to be well for anything that's important to me. And if this news story is going to make me unwell for it, then I'm not what it calls for. I also do not invest time in anything or anyone that's going to have me feel like I lack something. Like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that. And I stay away from it. Too much relationship conversations, I stay away from it because I know I'm at a stage right now where I would have liked to have had a life partner, but I don't have one. So I know that's a touchy area for me. So I don't go there. I don't allow myself to sit in that trauma. I don't. I regulate my mind. I regulate the things I do for my well-being. And that is something we really need to think about. You don't have to watch. You know, one of the things I learned some time ago, I think it's over 2 years ago. I realized that when I went on social media, I was circulating messages, not because they spoke true to my life, but because they tickled my emotions. Like, you listen to a TikTok video and it's talking about how men this and men that and men that, and I've never experienced that before, but the way it's presented is so entertaining and it's so cute and it's so smart and it's so witty that you're like, yes, and men, and I found myself, it happened to me, I found myself repeating something, and I remember one night I was lying on and I'm like, you've never experienced that, girl, stop it. I'm like, girl, you have never experienced that. So become clear on your experiences and what you're championing, because that's just not true. And I had to make a conscious decision that no matter when I'm TikToking, because I do have my date nights with TikTok because I like TikTok. I think it has a good purpose. Like, of course it has a good purpose. That's why it exists. But like everything else, moderation, you know, and stay true to you. You've got to be true to who you are. The sudden calm, a mood shift we share, but clinicians warn can signal a resolved plan. A resolved plan. And the final one, the altruistic logic, believing loved ones would be safer, freer, and happier without you. Sometimes the thought isn't, I want to die. Sometimes it's, I can't bear to live long enough to watch the people I love suffer in ways I cannot stop. I don't want to be around and just not be of any good to anyone. You know? And it's still evident in the way I isolate myself. I literally isolate myself because I feel like that's the only thing I know how to do. Because I feel like I don't want to be in the lives of the people I actually care about, because my experience made me feel as though whenever I'm around, you're abusing me, so I must be causing you hurt. For the fact that you put hands on me, the fact that you do certain things, the fact that you don't listen, the fact that the way you talk to me is so disrespectful, the fact that it's like I'm not valued. I feel like that's me bringing that energy. So if I just stay away from them, then that is the best way for me to love them, because then they don't have to do anything that I'm not going to have to think is abusive, or because I would have been the one to influence it anyway. It's just crazy how our minds manage information, But I'm at the place where no, I understand that no, that's not the case. So dig deeper, Racquel, because yes, you're doing this for a reason, but what is the true reason? What's the real reason? I don't feel safe. Okay, so let's not put these other stories to it. You know what I mean? So that's why therapy is important. Coaching is important. It helps you. It's not necessarily that you're wrong, but sometimes the way you see it, the information may not be completely incorrect, but the perspective may be. You know what I mean? And so even for me, what I had to learn to face is truth. I didn't have to change truth to change the convert, to change the situation. And now my biggest defense is once I walk in my truth, I can handle anything else because I'm in truth. So universe is going to step in, and it's not going to require just me, but I have to be in truth for that to happen. Once I have clarity, I can understand how to deal with it. Yeah. So sometimes I'm going to repeat this. Sometimes the thought isn't I want to die. Sometimes it's I can't bear to live long enough to watch the people I love suffer in ways I cannot stop. I don't know that I want to be around to watch some people that I really, really love to have certain experiences. You know what I mean? But I'm learning that I'm getting stronger. I can handle it because I have been handling it. And I don't have to worry about how people perceive me handling it. I don't worry about people anymore. So the paradox, caring so deeply it hurts to stay alive, is a language most don't recognize, but many silently speak. Okay, so this young lady, God bless her, what we have to understand is it's not just about, oh, she had so much to live for. Furthermore, for me personally, I do not advocate for suicide. I do not promote it. In fact, I don't have anything that I want to say, you should do so and so. No, not me, right? And this, the least of all this, right? If you need advice on suicide, you should go see a therapist. I'm not one. My personal opinion on death is something that's different from many people's perspective. I'm okay with death. Death is not a bad thing to me. In fact, for me, I feel like death is the exit from a world where I get to watch people get bombed and watch people be hungry and watch people have to pay for land when nobody created it. These are the things that I can't spend too much time on because it does something to me. Yeah. Homelessness and things like that, the unnecessary trauma we all sit around and allow to happen to people. People are buying land. To me, it's like you're saying even the animal has a place here, but people don't. You want to tell me that we can't give people a good square, the size, the length of their bodies, and say this is your spot? You mean to tell me we have people walking around who have no spot for themselves? And we're talking about this is a world that is so beautiful and wonderful. There's nothing. Nature is beautiful. Life is beautiful. But world, this place is not my home. But a lot of us out here talking about God, and yet this is our palace, our heaven. This is we can't even imagine not being here. The only time I have no desire to leave here is if when I leave here, I go to another place just like here. That's the only time. I don't have any attachment to this. I am ready when it's my time, ready to go. I don't even want a funeral. Just cremate my body, throw it somewhere and plant a tree there. That's it. Just remember, hopefully remember the good, if any, that I did. Love yourself. When I pass, don't spend too much emotion on me. Go find somebody who's alive to give that emotions to. To give those emotions to. Yes. That's how I feel about it. So for me, I think we have an option. You can stay or you can go. And I believe you have the rights to exercise that option, and you should not be defamed for it, and you should not be demoralized for it. Because if the universe could have prevented anybody from self-inflicting, and this is the thing I always say, right? You could go to the top of a building threatening to jump off, and the same person who come and pull you back turn around and shoot you to death. So sometimes my question to mankind is, so someone should not commit this, but someone can kill them because they did something bad, or you think is justified. So is it that we don't want people to commit suicide, or is it that we think that should happen in a way that we can justify it? You know, because there are pains that people can't see. There's some pains you cannot see. And on that note, I want to go to the next story, the closing story that I have here, and I have a clip to play first.
Of trauma-informed theology. A lot of our sermons are coming from a lot of men and women who have never addressed their trauma. So that trauma actually informs their theology, and the information of their theology makes for their sick sermons. So now we are taking passages of scripture, seeing it through the brokenness of our trauma, and now we're preaching shake the haters off. God's going to prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies so you can eat a steak dinner and laugh at all the people that thought you would have failed by now. That sermon's not getting anybody closer to Jesus, but it is getting somebody closer to your open wound. And then you're triggering everybody else's trauma. And then our churches need to become more trauma informed from the top down. We need for people to understand that the Sunday celebration is not community. That's an event. I take my family to an event on Sunday. I don't go to community on Sunday. I have community with y'all all week. Like, this is the stickiness of community. We're wrestling with stuff, and we're asking questions, and we're trying to get answers, and we're bringing up stuff, and we're dealing with the discomfort of it, and we may agree with each other, we may not. Like, that's community.
That's true.
Sunday is call and response. Can I get an amen? Amen. That's not community. That's a gathering. Sunday's dope. I like going to our Sunday service. It's great. But Monday through Saturday is when we wrestle with stuff. We don't get to wrestle with nothing on Sunday.
Boom.
And then you're triggering everybody else.
Let me tell you, thank God for coaching. Coaching was what helped me understand how to use my trauma effectively, efficiently, and correctly. Because the trauma is not in vain. And what he spoke about is something I witnessed. But this is what I tell myself, because I know who God is. I don't believe in God anymore. Because you see, the depression that I went through, the suicidal ideation, everything I went through was God's breakdown. And when I did my self-work, I had breakthroughs. So one of the things, and my biggest breakthrough, is that now I know God. And to the extent that I call it God is because that's the word I have. And I value and respect that God knew what he was doing when he created me in a certain culture, in a certain environment. So I respect it all, but I know who God is. I know who my God is. And because I know who my God is, I understand that he uses people the way he wants them to, wants to use them. And when it's their time to do something, they will. When it's time for them to go to coaching, they will. So the only thing I would say to people is, are you moving in disobedience? And how many times did God tell you to go get coaching, but you didn't go? Are you in disobedience? Because other than that, if him tell you to come bleed on the screen, then bleed on the screen. But I do experience where I see ministers who, my God, if they got coaching, man, the power of their story could be so amazing instead of the traumatic response in the story. Because there's a lot of ministries that it's trauma infested. It's not trauma empowered. It's trauma infested. It's like the trauma is not being used to uplift. It's being used as a emotional spa, an emotional, let us hang out here in these emotions, And like I said before, I'm not talking about anybody specific. I'm just speaking in general because I work in the faith-based space with multiple people. So I just want to say that. So here are so, and then there's the church. Let's talk about trauma-inspired theology. And you heard him speak about it, that video I wanted to reference. Before you choose a leader, ask, what is their trauma? And sometimes some of these churches, that are not getting the kind of support they're looking for, this is the reason. People are seeing the trauma, not your message. They're not seeing the solution you bring because your solution is clouded by the trauma that you're carrying. So before you choose, ask, what is their trauma? Do they own it? Do they demonstrate healing? Because too often we don't get spirit-led sermons, we get trauma-led ministries. If your leader cannot tell you straight up what their weakness is and show you how that weakness, how their program is set to empower people with that weakness, then you should question, why are you here? I'm just going to put that. So a pulpit can echo wounds just as loudly as it can echo the word. That's why leaders need therapy for 3 reasons. Here they are, that I identify 3 reasons. To name and process their own pain, to build healthier relationships with their flock, to serve sustainably without burnout or cycles of harm. And leaders need coaching. 1, for accountability beyond the pulpit. 2, for aligning passion with practical strategy. And 3, for shifting from survival to legacy. Coaching helps you use the trauma as a platform on which to stand rather than having it on your head burning you down, right? So trauma doesn't disqualify a minister. No, it does not. But unexamined trauma can hijack a ministry. Therapy and coaching aren't indulgences. They're safeguards for both shepherd and sheep. If you don't know your trauma, you don't even know who you're supposed to be serving. Are we being led by spirit or by scars? If you or someone you love is struggling, in Jamaica, call 888 New Life. That's 888-639-5433. In the US, call or text 988. Anywhere else, visit findahelpline.com for local support, because the most dangerous lie is that you are alone. You're not. You're not alone. This has been allegedly episode 26. Until next time, stay well, stay aware, and never stop questioning the stories we tell. And I'll say this from my heart to yours. Walk in your truth, no matter how it looks, no matter how it sounds, no matter what people say, no matter what they do, whether they hear you or not, believe you or not. Walk in your truth. Find a way. Learn how to walk in your truth. Learn to know God for yourself. Learn to know what that supreme, that spirit is for yourself. Learn to know how he interacts with you personally. And please seek coaching. Coaching will help you get from trauma to not just healing, but how to use the trauma and who to use it with. Why did God put you through this? For who and for what? Coaching. That's how you learn that. And especially if you're a minister, you are obligated. You are obligated. Because you're leading people. And I really salute the people who have anything to do with the work of anything called God, because whether it's the real God, wrong God, whatever, once you decide to go on a path that you choose, you decide, I'm going to work for God, God bless you. Because I salute anyone who's trying. So seek coaching. Seek coaching. All right. So that's the end of our show for today. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. I'm Coach Racquel. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. And if I said anything at all that offended anyone, I apologize. That was not my intention. Okay. Not my intention. And please let me know so I can apologize to you directly, because it's not my intention to hurt. I gain nothing if you hurt. I want you to thrive. I want you to be well. That's what makes me happy. All right. So thank you so much. Bye-bye. I love to open new packages. There will be the latest information on the top funding opportunities for entrepreneurs who are seeking funding. Come along with me. I'm Coach Racquel, and this is a passion project for me. So I am so happy to bring this to you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching.
Unlock your potential every Thursday with our podcast, Refresh, Relax, Renew. Join Coach Racquel as she guides you through personal development journeys. Each episode focuses on actionable steps to enhance your personal journey. The podcast features 3 main segments to keep you engaged. We start with discussions on trending topics relevant to your growth. Then we unbox solutions to common challenges we face daily. Finally, stay updated with fresh funding opportunities each week. Tune in every Thursday for new episodes, and see you there.
Welcome to mycoachministry.com. We're on a mission to empower 1 million purpose-driven entrepreneurs, turning calling into currency. Through strategic coaching, we guide visionary leaders, brand elevation, and creative empowerment, helping leaders break barriers and own their identity. Build impactful, wealth-generating brands that echo across generations.